What's up, everybody? What's up? How we doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Bush League Huddle Fantasy Football Podcast. How we doing, everybody? How we feeling after this wonderful conference championship weekend, where we just saw four of the heaviest teams to go through everything that we had to go through just to get this Super Bowl right now. My God, but that is upon us right now. We got the Pro Bowl this weekend, where we're going to be looking at Shadir Sanders for the first time ever in real life in the Pro Bowl, like where he's supposed to be, where he deserves to be in the Pro Bowl, just like Bill Belichick does not deserve to be a first ballot Hall
Oh
of Fame
my
inductee.
God.
We're
Yeah,
starting off
not
strong.
great.
We're starting off strong. This is the world that we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. Shadir Sanders is a Pro Bowler. But before we jump into all that stuff, guys, we got a fantastic episode like we always do. We're going to be recapping some of the coaching changes that have happened the last few days. We're going to be recapping as well, going over the conference championships that happened over this last week. And we're going to be previewing a way too early wide receiver ranking, which is always fun for us to do because after the first 10 picks, let's be honest now, it's going to be off the rails. But that's the fun part of this, to see where we're at now versus where we're going to be in a few months from now. But before we jump into that, ladies and gentlemen, please follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. You're going to find all of our stuff, all of our past episodes, all of our past podcasts, all of our wonderful, beautiful faces. If you're wondering, that's Knack, that's Roger, I'm Fab. We're here. Well, we're here for this hour,
we're
definitely. We're here. We're live. We're not live. We could be. We will. But please follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter for all your weekly fantasy breakdowns towards the end of the season and all of next season too. But now I'm going to pass things on to Knack, who's going to jump right into it with some of the coaching changes that have happened, especially a big one for on your side of the fence over there, Knack. You must be pretty happy.
Yes, well, I was I had mixed reviews, as did the whole Yinzer Twittersphere. I think everyone went off the rails when Mike McCarthy became the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was definitely met very negatively at first, that's for sure. Definitely wasn't the sexy hire, but I've had, what has it been now? 48, 72 hours to kind of digest it, kind of look at it from both ends. And the first comparison I want to make is the John Harbaugh and Mike McCarthy comparison. So if you compare the two of these coaches, both coached 18 years. They both have pretty much the same winning percentage of just over 600. They both have 12 playoff appearances, and they both have a Super Bowl. One was met with "Let's start the parade" and "Oh my God, we got John Harbaugh," and then one was met with "This guy's a bum. This guy is
he's not wrong.
washed." He's
But there's context involved, though. Hold on a second.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
come
Let him
come
finish.
on.
Okay,
It
all right,
was
okay,
met
okay.
with jubilation. It was the Super Bowl for Giants fans, yourself included, Fab. Let's
You're
let's not
you're damn right it was.
exactly.
Compared to what
But
we've
then
You're
had.
damn
but
right it
Mike
was.
McCarthy came in with the exact same resume, and he's actually a year younger, and it was met with such
Ageism now?
craziness. Yeah, well, because everyone was hoping for that 30-year-old head coach. Everyone was hoping for, but when I take a step back and look at it, everyone was like, well, we always stayed the status quo. What was the status quo the last three hires? Young defensive coordinator, first time head coach. And it worked out. Obviously, each of them won in the building, but it got stale, right? And for them to go into another direction, they now hired an offensive head coach. This head coach has had a track record of developing young QBs. He had Aaron
Joe
Rodgers,
Montana.
three-time MVP. Had Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
That's
That
a
was
38-year-old Joe Montana.
38. Hey, you know what? He gave him an endorsement today on the
No, he
Pat
didn't.
McAfee.
Really?
Pat
He
McAfee
did
show.
not. Knack, I listened to that episode too. He just said that he was an offensive quality control coach. He didn't say that he
He
had
said he loved the hire.
Oh, the hire. Okay, sure. I thought you meant
Yes,
he,
yes.
I thought you meant he would actually develop 38-year-old Joe.
No. He endorsed it in the sense of becoming the next head coach. No, he didn't endorse that. He
Squeezed out all that
groomed it.
juice in that
But I mean,
38-year-old body.
with Dak Prescott had his best 2 years in the NFL under Mike McCarthy. His offense, the Cowboys' offense, went all the way up to top 5 in the league.
Yep.
He made Matt Flynn a millionaire. Literally made Matt Flynn a millionaire when he signed off. He went off to Seattle, and then obviously wasn't great. but he's had the track record. So for all these Steelers fans and all these guys on Twitter and in their mother's basements and freaking out over this hire, I think this is the direction the team needs to go. I think that this is not the year, obviously, to go out and get a quarterback because we know that the draft is not, loaded with them. But it's a year to see what Will Howard has, see what you have in Will Howard, see what it is. This year, I know they're talking about maybe having Aaron Rodgers back. I don't care. Take him back for one more year. Next year is the year where there's going to be more QBs available, and hopefully, this is where his expertise comes in. Drafts the QB, develops the QB, and we have the QB of the future. That is what has been lacking in Pittsburgh since Big Ben retired. So I've come around, and I actually love the hire. Actually, seeing his press conference today and how genuine he is, Pittsburgh Steelers guy, Pittsburgh native, excuse me. I don't know. I'm looking at the resumes here, and I'm trying to see like why is he getting so much flack? Why is there so much pushback on Mike McCarthy?
Do you think Mike McCarthy just gets body shamed, and that's why people just look at him like differently than? Because you're right. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think it's because he's been out of football for a few years. Like
A year.
One.
I know. Well, but
One year.
I know. I'm saying a year this time and a year after Green Bay too. I think that's what it is. I think the relevancy behind it. But I agree. Like, I think this was a great hire. I saw a bunch of memes and posts on Twitter and all that stuff about how this is basically changing 4 quarters for $1, but I don't see it that way at all. The only similarities between the two coaches is obviously their outstanding record, which when you want to hire a replacement coach, why wouldn't you want a guy that the record that he has? He's won 174 games. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And maybe the change towards a more offensive minded approach is the way to go. I'm just curious, like, how are you guys, like, how tall is the bridge you guys are going to jump off of if it's another 9-win season? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, listen. The thing is the roster. Look, a lot of it had to do. A lot of it had to do with Mike Tomlin, right? Like I don't know if he has that same command in a room as Mike Tomlin did. It's not a coach that was there for 19 years and was well respected. Like McCarthy should be well respected, but now he's coming in. He's the new guy, right? He's got to get acquainted with everyone on the team. He's got to understand everyone on the team. So, all those guys that said, "Hey, the Steelers are going to finish, 6-6 and whatever this year." The last few years, people have been saying it. Maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the year that it does happen. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, who do they have on the roster right now? They've got Mason Rudolph. They've got Will Howard, and they've got Skylar Thompson. And like we said, this draft isn't loaded. I'm hoping that they don't reach for a Ty Simpson in the first round because I think that would be a mistake with only 1 year as a starter at Alabama. So realistically, I don't know who you're going to have at QB for this team to win that many games without Mike Tomlin there as the head coach. It's hard to, for me right now. It's hard to, unless Rodgers comes back, because Rodgers comes back, then you're almost guaranteed 9 wins.
I think you said it well, Nak. I think a very underrated kind of career from an offensive play caller perspective. Like you said it, like 2 years with the Cowboys, actually 3 years with the Cowboys is pretty much from a points per game standpoint, top 5. He's had quite a few top 5 finishes with the Packers, including when they won the Super Bowl. So I agree. I think he gets a bad rap for sure. I think there's some things that I'm sure some Steelers fans are worried about. Some of the things that impacted or kind of led to his fallout with the Cowboys and even with the Packers was just the thinking that the offense got stale, lack of motion, game management as well. I heard there was a feud with Rodgers, which I think Rodgers, he kind of refuted it at some point after his time with Green Bay was over, and we kind of saw how good Rodgers was after McCarthy when Matt LaFleur came on. But Rodgers feuds with everyone. He feuded with Matt LaFleur too in the beginning because Matt LaFleur wanted to change the offense a little bit more than what Aaron Rodgers wanted to. So,
right,
I came around with it. I was making fun of you and other Steelers fans saying you guys were coping. You guys were taking a lot of copium. Kind of, oh, Chris Shula bombed the interview. Oh, this guy bombed the interview. But I think, based off the context that I've seen, that hey, the guys in the locker room didn't think Tomlin was going to leave. It's still a veteran-laden team that probably still thinks they could win. They still won the division. They're at least a minimum 9-10 win team. It probably makes sense to not necessarily bring in, a 34-year-old player. The one question I have for you, Nak, and this is a very important question. Do you think Mike McCarthy told Rooney and Khan that he watched every single play from the 2019 or this past season in order to evaluate the Steelers? Because that's what Mark McCarthy did and told Jerry Jones to get the Cowboys job.
He actually said in his press conference today that he watched every Steelers game on TV.
Not every single NFL game of the season.
Not every NFL. And every Steelers game. He said he was able to watch Steelers
I believe
games
that.
on
I'm kidding.
I believe that.
on TV. Look, it's a new change,
I believe that.
and honestly, even now, like there's less pressure on offensive coordinator because he also said that he will be calling the plays. He was not shy about that. So I know that Lunda Wells was a guy who was expected a Cowboys tight ends coach. So he was with obviously McCarthy there. They had retained him on staff. And then a few names being floated around as like defensive coordinators is former Giants and Raiders DC Patrick Graham. There was even mention of potentially Al Harris. I'd be more concerned about the defensive coordinator. What I would love to see is obviously my dream scenario would be Raheem Morris. And if Anthony Weaver doesn't get a job, I'd love for him to be poached and come in as the DC.
Yeah, you'd have to just one small thing. You'd have to think maybe they bring in a young DC because Mike McCarthy is only 62
even
years
young
old.
OC,
maybe someone young OC, maybe someone to take over after.
They're even saying I saw rumblings today of trying to get Shieldhouse out of the Rams, come in as the offensive coordinator, learn under McCarthy. Like, look, he's 62 years old, right? Like after this 5 years, like how much longer could he possibly have? Get that young guy to groom him to be the next head coach, and that to me would be an excellent idea too.
Totally.
Yeah. Just little final words here for some other remaining head coaching positions. Joe Brady today was promoted from OC to head coach in Buffalo. I don't know if you guys remember that press conference that Josh Allen had when they were talking about Joe Brady and he like potentially being poached, and he had like made a joke like, no, don't come get him. He's a horrible coach or whatever.
Terrible.
I remember seeing that clip earlier today too. So that's pretty good. I think it's a good hiring. I think we all agree that Joe Brady was the correct choice after McDermott leaves.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think.
Yeah, no one's going to argue on that.
Yeah. Then you have the Cardinals, Raiders, and Browns still looking at head coaching positions. So the Browns, everyone keeps dropping out and ignoring the Browns. It seems
they have a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
It seems
Pro Bowl quarterback.
It seems more likely than not that Jim Schwartz is actually going to take over that, it's such a Browns move. Like if there's a Browns move to be had and another 4-13 season coming, like here it is. Like it's just really uninspiring.
He deserves to be on a good team. He deserves to be on a better team.
Yeah,
he's a very good defensive coordinator.
Oh, you're talking about the Pro Bowler.
No.
You have the Cardinals too. Cardinals have been interviewing a boatload of coaches. I feel like it's like it's wide open to whoever gets that job.
I saw Ron Rivera. Not even kidding. I saw Ron
Rivera interviewed today.
Yeah,
it's like so strange. Like, what are you guys doing?
That might be the second Rooney rule because I know Vance Joseph they interviewed, and I thought he was going to be the guy, and he obviously lost. He's a defense coordinator for the Broncos. He lost this past Sunday, and the hire hasn't been made yet. But I've actually been hearing more. Matt LaFleur's brother, Mike LaFleur, who I think is he with the Niners now, or is he with the Rams? I think he's with the Niners, a passing game coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would make sense to stick with a LaFleur, but you're going to be in that division that just got 3 teams in the playoffs. Man, it's a tough situation. Like no quarterback, cheap ownership. It's tough.
And I'm kind of surprised that the Raiders haven't
Yeah.
found a QB yet. $100 million in cap space, number
Yeah.
one overall pick. I feel like this could have been, enticing to some
It's
here.
a much more attractive
It's just that, like, I guess
landing
people are
spot
not like
than people realize
there's got to be
for the
these
people.
coaches that
No,
don't believe in Mendoza either, right? Like
no,
that could be a
guys. I
thing
think
too.
it's Kubiak.
I believe that.
I think they're waiting for Kubiak at this
I
point.
think
Oh, I think that's a good point though, actually, because I was
They're waiting for Kubiak.
I
because
heard
you
that
have to wonder
they're going away from
why,
him.
but
I was reading recently that they wanted it seems like Kubiak is out on that front, or they were out on Kubiak, but
then
Well,
maybe Josh McDaniels is making a return to the
Oh
Raiders.
my god. Or
no,
Antonio Pierce.
Antonio Pierce.
We
back.
want to
Imagine.
scare our friend Nick from Partial Breakaway. Let's say
I heard rumors of Antonio Pierce is signing a 4-year contract with the Oakland
I heard
Raiders.
John Gruden too. No, but
I heard
seriously,
John Gruden. Yeah.
Davis Webb was the front runner. He's the
Yeah.
passing game coordinator for
Yes.
the Broncos. We were just talking about it pre-show. And Nick also from Partial Breakaway, big Raiders fan, told me as well. Like the Broncos basically fired their OC to promote Davis Webb, and I think because of that, it kind of blocks them.
Yeah.
They're allowed to block because it's a lateral move. So that's actually really interesting.
They also have to ask. They still have to ask permission, right?
Yeah.
To interview these guys, and they could say no, right? So.
Yeah, for sure. But it's I mean, I have to think it's Kubiak.
Look,
if it's not Kubiak, Dable. Anyways, maybe we'll talk about
Dable signed, right?
Adam Schefter said by Wednesday, all the positions, if not all of them, should be filled. From what he said yesterday. So by this Wednesday. So by tomorrow. So
because the Shrine Bowl, is happening. The Senior Bowl is gonna be, I believe, in a few weeks. If it's not already this week. Like
I think it's next week.
Yeah, maybe it might be
Shrine Bowl is
happening right now.
Yeah, so like these coaches need to get in place so you start to see these prospects. So
yeah. Then you had exactly. We just mentioned Brian Dable took the OC job with the Tennessee Titans. Chose Cam Ward over Jalen Hurts.
That coaching staff is rounding out to be very nice, very nice. Like him and Salah make a very good good tandem. It's very smart.
They're doing all of this, and they had Vrabel in the building. Still boggles my mind.
Yes,
my mind.
Yes.
They definitely they're putting
some course correction happening for sure.
They definitely poo-pooed the bag on that one, but it's looking pretty good so far. And
the Eagles,
Dable is good with quarterbacks. So
Eagles still looking for an OC here.
I don't know.
It's crazy that it's taken this long. I feel like there's a lot of people obviously that said no, and that dropped out. Even Mike McDaniels finally signed with the Chargers as OC.
Yeah,
he chose
the best press conference I've ever seen in my life. By the way, for what it's worth.
I missed it. I was listening to the.
It was like 45 seconds long. I was like, okay, guys, I'm not much of a talker.
Oh, right.
He sounds always high.
Yes. Yeah, he does. You're right.
Like he's on an edible.
He has like a little bit of in his teeth over here.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say about the Eagles OC opening is it's either an indictment on Nick Sirianni or it's an indictment on Jalen Hurts.
I agree 100%.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah, it could be that one on both.
That's all I'll say about that.
What I found interesting, and looking back, it makes sense that he didn't. The Dable didn't go to Philly because he coached Hurts in Alabama. You think automatically there's going to be a parallel there and a commonality, but then you realize he actually benched Hurts while he was in Alabama for Tua, and you wonder why.
Yeah, good call. Yes.
You wonder, and it's like, okay, well, maybe he knows something, or I don't know. There's a lot of things that are coming up now through the woodworks. I find that, like, after all these coaching vacancies are still vacant, you think the Eagles, is a prime location that any single offensive coordinator will want to go there and cut his teeth in that roster. But you have to wonder why. You have to wonder why. I think the writing is on the wall.
Yep.
That will round out the coaching vacancies for now. And Raj, why don't you keep this pod going with the wide receiver rankings, the way too early wide receiver rankings.
Way too early wide receiver rankings. So if you missed it, we had our QB way too early wide receiver QB way too early rankings a few weeks ago. We did the running backs last week. This week I did the wide receivers, and I thought the running backs were tough. The wide receivers were just as tough. So before we dive into it, just a few stats. and facts about the wide receivers in 2025. So I think we all know 2025 was the year of the injury-prone wide receiver and the wide receiver impact going down. So I saw a really interesting stat on Twitter from Ryan Heath from fantasypoints.com. Fantasy wide receivers played the lowest percent of possible games since 2016. So wide receivers played 79% of the games. And we saw that bear fruit with a lot of the injuries that we saw in the past year. The rate of 3 wide receiver sets decreased, the least since quite a few years. And the pass rate on heavy sets increased more so than previous years, meaning that a lot of tight ends and running backs got more catches before. And I even did a little analysis on my end because I was just curious on the impact of kind of the mid-tier wide receiver. The top-tier wide receivers are still eating, but we saw the difference between wide receiver 4 to wide receiver 8. In 2021, that was a 55-point gap between WR4 and WR8. Last year was closer to 40 points. So again, we're seeing kind of, once you get past those top 3 guys in the mid-tier range, it's really going down. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens in the coming year. It seems like running backs are having more of an impact, and the wide receivers are flattening out. So without further ado, drum roll, please. The way too early wide receiver rankings, and that is not it. This is it. That happens all the time. Damn you, StreamYard. Damn you. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I had Puka Nacua at 1, Jamar Chase at 2, Jackson Smith and Jigba at 3. Like last week, these are super interchangeable in my opinion. You could literally have any one of those 3 at the top 3 picks. I basically did the exercise of, do you think Stafford was returning? Do you think Darnold is regressing or may regress? Or do you think Burrow is getting injured? So based off those 3 questions, I kind of rated it 1, 2, 3, Nacua, Chase, and Smith and Jigba. But again, it's super interchangeable. Puka had 24 points per game. Chase had 21 points per game. And JSN was at 19 points per game. So all in all, those are the 3 best wide receivers in the league, easily. Any thoughts, gentlemen, on the top 3?
No, but I like your number 4. I'm happy he got some respect. He deserves it.
Yes, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He's been so consistent for the last 4 or 5 years.
Literally 5 years. I looked at his last 5 finishes. So this is from most recent to least recent. He finished as WR3, 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 WR7, and WR22. That was WR22 was the first year he came on. And I've always been a Amon-Ra St. Brown believer, but this year I'm 100% all in, and he's as safe as a pick you'll get.
You keep on saying it's death by 1,000 cuts, but you know what? It's still death. It's
100%.
100%.
Totally. At 5, CeeDee Lamb. He was WR21 last year. Back-to-back injury seasons for CeeDee Lamb, plus Pickens having a much bigger impact. Obviously, being on the team with Dallas, only 15 points per game for Lamb. So he's 2 years removed from that WR1 season. But in that offense,
who was his coach then?
Oh my God.
Just asking for
Mike McCarthy.
Oh my God, we're gonna.
Are you thinking DK? Was DK Metcalf going to turn into CeeDee Lamb now?
Free DK.
Guys, draft DK next year. Is going to turn into CeeDee Lamb.
You already had your Steelers. You already had your Steelers.
I wanted to just make
throw
a
the
point
pot.
there.
That's fine. That's okay.
I think of Lamb at 5. I mean, you could question a little bit. He's a bit. He could be interchangeable with the guy at number 6, Drake London. He missed 5 games, but he improved on a yards per game basis and yards per reception. It'll depend on the QB. Will it be Cousins? It won't be Penix to start the year. I think we all love Drake London's talent. He just needs to stay healthy. Speaking of staying healthy, at number 7, I had Malik Neighbors. He missed a ton of time last year. I think he only played 2 or 3 games, 15 point per game, but I'm not going to ding him on that because of the mess at QB with Russell Wilson. With Dart there, let's see what happens. But there's rumors that he might not be healthy for week 1. So that's what kind of concerns me with regards to Malik Neighbors. But he's up there for now based on his 2024. I saw another stat by Ryan Heath. Most uncatchable air yards per game in 2025. Malik Neighbors was number 1 in that stat. No surprise. At 8,
3 games.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Played 3 games.
Crazy.
That's what you get with 3 games.
And in those 3 games, what did he have? 18 targets a game.
Nah, I don't even think so. No. I don't think it was targeted all that much because it's Russell Wilson throwing in the ball. So either he gets moon balls or he doesn't even get targeted at
Well,
all because Russell can't even
well,
get out of the pocket.
well to that point, that number was 70 yards per game. The next lowest had 45.
Stupid.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
At number 8, Justin Jefferson. I think we all agree a brutal season. He had 3 single-digit fantasy games in 2024. That doubled to 6 in 2025. So, and all of those were after week 9. Chris Olave at number 9. I think we all loved the way he played. Great comeback season. You know, we all thought maybe he might retire after all those hospital balls from Derek Carr. Excuse me. I think there's a big upward trajectory with Tyler Shuck. Finished in the last 4 games with 24 catches, 352 yards, and 4 touchdowns, which finished at that period as a WR4 in that 4-game stretch. So I think we all like him in the coming year.
Love Olave. Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fab, your boy Nico Collins, another solid season, but another one with injuries. He finished as the WR8. Injuries plagued him. CJ Stroud regression plagued him. Yes. I think we all expected more. I think he's still a beast if healthy, but Fab, he's a guy I can't touch anymore.
I agree, and at 10 for me, he's too high. He finished wide receiver 8. He had 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns. Like that speaks to the other wide receivers ahead of him and behind him, not necessarily to how well he performed this year. And I think like a majority of those yards and touchdowns came when CJ Stroud wasn't his quarterback.
Yeah, good call.
And I don't know, Nico Collins, like I like him a lot as a great number 2, but 10 for me is even a little bit too high.
Then what do you think, or what do you both think at George Pickens at 11? So he's a potential free agent. So that's where the asterisk goes. He finished as the WR5 last year. Terrific with Dak Prescott. But again, you have to factor in that CD Lamb will be back if he's back with the Cowboys. But an amazing season for Pickens.
This is similar situation to last year where you had Chase and
T.
Higgins in the top 11, right? Where did T. Higgins finish?
T. Higgins finished as
WR 17.
Yeah,
so 17. Chase 4 and 17. So you have the same thing. Look, CD Lamb 21.
That's a great point.
0 WR 5. So it's if you're taking Lamb at 5, then 11 is way too high for a George Pickens as the number 2 on the team. So you could kind of see it. Look, you see it in the stats now how it's like it's developed, and you have T. Higgins at 17. And
I like
he did miss a couple games, sure, but look, even with a couple more games, would he have gotten to WR 15 maybe? He's not worth that like borderline top 10 pick.
I think Pickens is a better player than T. Higgins, but I love your reasoning that made you say, hey, Pickens might be a bit high. So I think that's very fair reasoning.
Yeah, 2 on the same team is tough.
At the same time, though, you did have Puka and Devontae Adams finish 1 and 9 respectively this year.
So
MVP Matthew Stafford,
Devontae Adams,
MVP Dak Prescott.
With the Steelers.
MVP with the Steelers.
With Mike McCarthy, excuse me.
With Mike McCarthy. He was almost MVP. Remember
all roads lead to Mike McCarthy.
No matter what, we just talk about
he's not the coach now, though.
Yeah. Devontae Adams, WR12. I don't care that he's 33 years old. I don't care he's 33 years old. 14 touchdowns, 23% touchdown rate, guys. 23%.
He's
absolutely bonkers.
He's so fun to watch.
So I was just curious. I looked at other wide receivers that played in their age 33 season to see how Devontae would compare, and he just turned 33, I believe, in December. So some notable age 33 wide receiver seasons: Jerry Rice, 122 catches, 15 touchdowns. Tim Brown, 90 catches, 6 touchdowns. Terrell Owens, 85 catches, 13 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison, 82 catches, 12 touchdowns. What do they all have in common? They're
quarterback play.
They're Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Devontae Adams is a Hall of Famer. I have no qualms about putting him 100%. This high, even though he's entering his age 33 year. AJ Brown, my goodness, somehow he still finished WR11. It was one of the worst rides ever.
That's an indictment on the other wide receivers. It's not projecting how good AJ Brown is.
He was good down the stretch. He had when he was complaining and they gave him the ball. It was a very good stretch of games late in the year.
He did. He had 6 20-point games in 2024, only 4 in 2025. So that probably makes a big difference in terms of, where his finish and number of points per game. 14, Tataroya, McMillan. I think it was a fantastic first season. Nice consistency, 7 touchdowns, 1,000 yards.
Yes.
I think he's tethered to how well Bryce Young will continue to develop and continue to ascend. If we see continuous ascension from Bryce Young, I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe gets closer to WR 9 or 10. Rashee Rice, he was 5th in points per game. Rashee Rice at 15, Rashee Rice, 5th in points per game, 18, but I don't know, guys, between the injuries, legal issues, suspensions, I find he's really hard to trust.
15 is a little bit high for me, if I'm being honest. You think about also having back Eric Bieniemy as an offensive coordinator in that offense. Like, what does it do, right? Like, the last time he was there as the OC, they had like prime Mahomes, and I'm not suggesting Mahomes isn't prime anymore, but that was also like 8 years ago. He had Tyreek Hill, who was fantastic, and then you had prime Travis Kelce, and we're now it's a different offense. So you're wondering how that's going to translate for success for Rashee Rice in there, and I don't really see it as wide receiver 15, at least not right now. Obviously the opinion can change later on. I think he's in the wide receiver 2 conversation, but like more on the low end, I think.
Mahomes also may not start the year, right? It's not a foregone conclusion that he starts.
Very good point.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. Rashee Rice just screams wide receiver 2 to me, especially his play style. Like, it's very honestly, guys, I don't really like watching him play personally. Like, it's very, very yak, low, very, very low ADOT. He's not like my typical flavor. Speaking of a wide receiver who isn't my typical flavor either, 16, Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers being wide receiver 7 last year is probably the most fugazi wide receiver.
It's
7.
bonkers.
Oh yeah,
I didn't believe that when I saw it. I was like, "Where's like you're missing a 1 in the front? Like, how did he finish 7 wide receiver 7?"
The quietest 86 catch season ever. Let's see who the OC is. Somehow, I don't think the Ravens have figured out who their OC is yet, so we'll see. The aforementioned T. Higgins at 17. He missed 2 games due to concussions, as is always a customary for T. Higgins. He always misses some games, but another touchdown beast. I think he's a quintessential wide receiver too. Nak, you and Nick had some fun beef about T. Higgins last year.
He was solid. That's what it is. He's a touchdown machine. Like, he's just a huge target. And again, you're just hoping that you get a full season of Joe Burrow and a healthy Joe Burrow. That's also a question mark, right? Like, how many times has he been injured now? He is injury prone. You can brand him injury prone now. It's 3 times in 6 years.
Totally.
So 50% of your time. So I mean, it's all going to hinge on that.
And from 18 to 20 through 22, we have some wide receivers who are obviously the model of consistency. Ladd McConkey at 18. And I'm being sarcastic, by the way, guys. Ladd McConkey at 18. Garrett Wilson at 19. Jameson Williams at 20. Jameson Williams had 2 games of 0 points.
And he still finished as wide receiver.
I know.
12. It's still a wide
WR1.
And he had two other games with, I believe, under 3 points. Cortland Sutton at 21. He's very consistent. He's not a high upside guy, but very consistent, good touchdown guy as well. And then at 22, Devonta Smith somehow also finished at wide receiver 19. That's kind of par for the course. He's always going to be, I think, like in the 20s in terms of wide receiver, as long as AJ Brown is still there. Out of those guys, is there anyone that you guys can foresee being, maybe cracking the top 10 next year?
Garrett Wilson. In the 5 games that he was healthy this year, he was wide receiver 6.
Knock. Ask the question for me.
Who's his quarterback?
Who's his
who
quarterback?
has been his quarterback, and he's still had very good seasons ever since he started his career.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers. There's a bare minimum.
Aaron Rodgers, when he was injured the entire season.
No, but the
year after, when
1,000
Devontae Adams was there. Yeah, he had a good season, and even the year when I think it was like what Zach Wilson throwing him again, was supposed to be, he's still like 900 yards and change.
Okay,
900 yards and change. As we're talking about a good season here.
Well, you know what though?
When
Look,
Zach Wilson
top
is throwing
10?
to you, yeah, it is. When Zach Wilson, I'm saying potential. The question was potential.
yeah,
Garrett Wilson.
that's fair. That's fair. It's
If
fair.
we're looking at this list, I do not see an avenue where Garrett Wilson touches the
Sorry,
top 10.
let me rephrase. He's had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons apart from last year where he got injured. Well, this year.
So who's
Okay.
your guy? Who out of those 5?
Top 10?
Yeah, who could potentially crack the top 10?
The only one I see out of those guys, man, like I don't think I see one in the top 10, to be
Okay.
quite honest with
Not
you.
even Lad, your boy Lad.
Like I was gonna say maybe Lad, but again, there's a lot of mouths to feed over there. I don't know what's happening with who's the slot guy?
Keenan
Keenan
Allen.
Allen. I don't know what happens with Keenan Allen, but what's
Trey
his
Harris,
name? There's Trey Harris that's come in. There's also
Quentin Johnson.
Who came on last
Your
year.
home run.
And honestly, I don't know what it's going to look
Yeah.
like with Mike
Trey Harris.
McCarthy. Right? I just don't see top 10. I can't see top 10 numbers out of these guys. Solid wide receiver twos, but I don't see top 10 numbers.
Fab, you had one more word on that?
No, I agree. I don't see it for Lat McConkey. The only reason why I really see it with Garrett Wilson is because we've seen the talent being there. It's just the inconsistent quarterback play, which obviously will continue. But
that's what I was going to say. He's the most talented of that group.
It's so frustrating.
No doubt.
So frustrating.
I want to stay with you, Fab. I put Luther Burden as 23. So last 5 to 6 weeks, he was second in targets on the team, targets per route run in routes. I think he might have passed Rome Odunze, and there's a lot of talk that maybe DJ Moore might not be back. Fab, I know you owned him in Bush League.
Yeah. I like him. I don't know if I think him and Rome Odunze do different things. I think they're both going to be involved in the passing game going forward. I think it's DJ Moore that's the odd man out. Looking from a contract perspective and all that, I just don't think he fits with the Ben Johnson offense. Luther Burden is a name to keep an eye on for next year. This guy is going to be involved in the offense going forward indefinitely forever, and he's a name to watch. And he's exciting. He's good. Yards after catch. He gets open. His routes are crisp, and that's why they drafted him. And they drafted him knowing that it was going to be him and Rome Odunze going forward for a long time. Not with DJ Moore, quite frankly.
Rome's got to catch the ball better. He was really bad at
Rome
was rough.
Before his injury was on fire.
Yep.
Was on fire. And then after he came back, and I guess he wasn't fully healthy, and he wasn't the same guy that he was in the beginning of the season. So hopefully with the whole offseason being what it is, and he gets back to full health. Plus, there's always that year 3 wide receivers that they pop off. Look at Rome Odunze, look at Malik Neighbors, look at Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, for sure.
Who might be potential guys that could be, you get them for discounts next year, and Brian Thomas Jr. as well.
Oh, Marvin Harrison Jr. No, sorry, not for sure. Sorry, like I
squeezed that one in. I squeezed that one in.
I think I was falling asleep, and I was like, "What? Someone tried to squeeze in Marvin."
What try to say? My voice is that soothing? It puts you to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, are we still here?
Speaking of putting us to sleep, I don't know what I was thinking. I immediately hate it. Jalen Waddle at 24.
This is the one I don't
like
at all here.
I don't.
That team, I think, is really going to be a dumpster fire next year. I'm sorry, Guido and Sta and Marco. But it's just I don't see an avenue where this guy cracks the top 30. I can't.
I agree.
Who's throwing him the ball?
I hate owning him.
He's very frustrating.
He's very frustrating.
Yeah, good player, great player, but just
Terry McLaurin at 25. I think we love the player. I don't know how much I want to trust him. New play caller, injury prone, injury plague season. Jaden Daniels, there's a little bit of an ick with Jaden Daniels right now. All the for lack of a better term. Fab, I'm going to go to you just because I don't want Knack to talk about DK Metcalf. What do you think of DK Metcalf at 26?
I think he's perfectly ranked. I think you can put him anywhere between 26 and 30. I think a lot of it depends on who the quarterback is going to be next year. Maybe give him a slight bump if it's still Aaron Rodgers with Mike McCarthy being there, but slight being, maybe mid-tier wide receiver too. It didn't seem as if, I don't know. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers plays well with DK Metcalf and the type of wide receiver that he is. I don't know if Mike McCarthy will fix that, and if he does, to what extent. I just think it's not a good marriage between a quarterback and a wide receiver. That's why I don't really have much faith in him hitting the top 15.
I think DK could fit well in Mike McCarthy traditional West Coast
West Coast
offense that's
offense.
like
That's
Sure.
my argument.
slants,
Yeah.
posts, middle of the field. Knack, I think you would agree
Yeah.
as well. I want to switch up the biases. So I want at 27 Parker Washington.
I
So
love
Knack,
this one.
talk to me
But
about Parker
is this
Washington.
the? But this is the. This is the first. This is the first Jaguar off the board
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Well,
Yep.
last 5 games he was a WR9 in PPR. He
Mm.
was, in my
Yeah, he
opinion,
was
the best
humming
wide
with.
receiver.
Yeah.
He was humming with.
Dude, you have 3 Jaguars in like one after another here.
I might have been drunk at that point. Parker Washington 27. Parker Washington
I like
27.
Parker Washington a
I
lot.
love. I
Yeah.
fell in
Yeah,
love with him. Like I kept saying in our group chat, like he plays like Amon Ra. I find like tough, like inside. He's not too big. I really like him. We'll see what happens. Okay, we'll speed it up. Emeka Buka at 28 weeks 1 to 5, 25 receptions, 445 yards, 5 TDs, WR3 and PPR. The rest of the way, he was wide receiver 45, and he was losing snaps to Jalen McMillan. I put him that high just because I can't imagine the Bucks still think Mike Evans is going to be the wide receiver 1, and I don't know. Chris Godwin was a rough go at it.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be improved, the year after post injury, but we'll see. Jacoby Myers 29. I thought he played well, but I just felt Parker Washington was better. But I think he made a profound impact on Trevor Lawrence. Michael Wilson at 30. My reasoning for Michael Wilson at 30, he finished as WR10, very PPR, very garbage time, spammy.
Yeah.
I just don't know how repeatable it is. And we talked about Marvin Harrison Jr., which we might as well we don't have to jump to him. We come back to other guys, but I have Marvin Harrison Jr. at 36. He finished as wide receiver 49. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. needs to be traded. I just don't see it working there right now. I feel like he's lost all his confidence. I think a change might make sense for him, but maybe with the new head coach that might make more sense. We'll quickly go through the rest. We had so Michael Wilson at 30, Brian Thomas Jr. at 31. Again, C. Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, Mike Evans at 32. Might be a potential free agent. I don't see him going anywhere, but I don't think he's going to be the focal point anymore as mentioned. 33, Alec Pierce. So he is a potential free agent. 45 catches, 1,000 yards. He led the league in air yards. He led the league in yards after catch. I think he would look amazing back in Indy. He'd look amazing in Pittsburgh, maybe.
Pittsburgh is
Tennessee.
this is the player I want them to go after, and I think it fits the Mike McCarthy role as a player that can kind of play all 3 positions.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a great point. He really showed a lot more than just being like a go ball guy.
Yeah.
The aforementioned Chris Godwin at 34, he finished as WR 80, so obviously a rough year. And then Roma Dunze at WR 35, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 36, Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs at WR 37. He finished as WR 16. I know it was a 2-year. Was it a 2-year deal?
3.
3, right? But there was a really easy out after 1.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
He's sticking around.
I would assume he's sticking around. TBD what happens with some of the other younger guys. I know Bude came on, Kyle Williams they like as well. I put a flyer on Tyreek Hill at 38. If I could get Tyreek Hill in the 4th round or around the 4th round, he's not going to be with the Dolphins next year. But
where's he playing?
Yeah, where's he going?
Who
knows?
And does he come back from that leg injury? What is he? 33 also?
Yeah, he's not the same player. That was a gruesome injury.
He relies a lot on athleticism, but
yeah,
I would take a flyer on him in the 4th round, knowing the kind of player he is.
Sure.
Michael Pittman Jr. At 39, he finished as WR 22, but not a great year. A lot of guys on that team: Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, Tyler Warren, and then Ricky Pearsall. This is more on potential. Ricky Pearsall at number 40. More on potential. The fact that Juwan Jennings there's a good chance he might not be there. Brandon Ayuk is gone as well. Maybe no George Kittle for the first portion of the year. So if he could stay healthy somehow, Pearsall could easily, in my opinion, be in the WR20s because he's very talented. But
I think we're missing someone here.
Very injury prone.
There's one guy I would be interested to see. I think definite top 40 next year if he stays in Seattle, and that's Rashid Shaheed.
Oh, I like that.
He looks really
Yeah.
nice in a Seattle uniform. Even returning punts, he's getting a lot of. He would get a lot of points that way, but he's looked good with Seattle, especially in the postseason.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot, and especially if Clint Kubiak goes back and he doesn't
Mhm.
go with the Raiders. I like that a lot. So that was a very difficult exercise. Those are the way too early wide receiver rankings in PPR for 2026. Obviously, there's much time and room for those to change, but we wanted to give you a little amuse-bouche for the pre-draft, early pre-draft. And now, Fab, let's talk about the conference championships.
The conference championship. We're gonna get this ball rolling with the NFC championship, which was arguably should have been the Super Bowl. Seahawks beat the Rams 31-27. Both quarterbacks put up three passing touchdowns each. Almost had exact stats actually, which
Yeah, it
was
was
really
crazy.
interesting. 374 passing yards for Matthew Stafford, 346 for Sam Darnold, both three touchdown passes, 0 INTs. You have to figure, and you have to ask yourself, because this game was back and forth the whole time. I don't think defenses really made a difference. However, special teams did, especially with the blunder that happened from I forget, Xavier Smith, number 19, with that muffed punt, and just set up a perfect, wonderful go-ahead touchdown to Bobo was his name. Excuse, I always
Jake
mess
Bobo.
up his name. Jake
Yep.
Bobo.
Jake Bobo.
But interesting, LA did come very close towards the end over there, especially in the fourth quarter. In the second to last possession, they got down to the 6-yard line, and McVay kept on going forward, 2 incompletions in a row on third down, and then on fourth down, and it was a turnover on downs. And they were only down by, well,
4.
actually, it was the exact same score. It was
4.
31-27. I mean, there's a lot of conversation. Should McVay have kicked the field goal in that spot?
I think he should have
I don't
gone
think so.
for 2 in the touchdown when they scored the touchdown, because they were down by 11 when they scored a
Mhm.
touchdown. He didn't go for 2.
Mm.
Even if you miss that 2-pointer, you're back in the same position. You got to score a touchdown.
Mm.
So I'm not sure
That's a
why,
good
and
point.
that's a really strange mistake from McVay. Usually, like that would have been a no-brainer type, like go for 2. I know it was I believe it was in the third quarter, so I think that's what kind of weighed on his decision. But ultimately, look, they got down there, and on that 4th and goal or 4th and 4, whatever it was, could have kicked the field goal to tie the game. So
Didn't he waste a timeout
Yeah.
too to review, because he wanted the refs to
no,
review a call, and
they,
then
he called the timeout to stop the clock, and then it wasn't being reviewed, or it was the Cooper
yes,
Cup catch. And then if he challenged, he asked the
Oh,
refs,
that
if
Cooper
I
Cup
challenge
catch.
and I lose, would I lose another timeout? So that was the reason why he didn't challenge, because
Okay.
The Cooper
he would have
Cup
it would have
catch
cost him another one.
that catch that was a catch.
Yeah, I'm still
we're
saying it's not a
gonna do
catch.
this again.
Yeah,
I
we are
mean,
gonna do this again.
it's just, but there's the inconsistencies with what's a catch and what's not a catch. And I know what's his name, number 88
Greg
for the
Olson.
No, for the Cowboys.
Oh, Jake Ferguson.
No, the
88, CD Lamb,
former wide receiver, number 88.
Michael Irvin.
as Bryant.
Dez Bryant is still complaining about if it's a catch or not versus Green Bay. Like, we're still having these conversations. Just saying. It's just the inconsistency is frustrating, and I feel like at this point in the NFL, it's a 110 year history right now. Like, can't they advance the reffing to the point where these little inconsistencies don't exist? Especially something as nuanced and something as specific as what is a catch? What is a catch?
You know what I find strange? I understand that we can't have games where it's like always instant replay, but like challenges, why can't we just get it right? Like, why does the coach have to challenge? Oh, I'm out of challenges, so I can't challenge. And let's say
It's
that the call was what it's just, I know that, but it's
bang
when there's
bang.
so many high stakes on the line, like
Mm,
make it all reviewable by New York or whatever it is. Like, let's just get the call right, guys. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a bit
that's
too
the
bang.
frustrating part.
It's a bit too bang bang. I just wanted to mention just a theory I have with McVay, Shanahan, Peyton, and LaFleur, and even Ben Johnson, all those kind of play calling head coaches. I think it's a lot for them to try to call plays.
For sure.
Basically be the main person for the quarterback, and then do all the time management stuff. Like, we clearly see there's time management issues with Matt LaFleur's teams. He never knows how to use his timeouts. Shanahan has had it for years. McVay, we're starting to see it.
I was about to say, like, it's like, what's the common denominator there, right? Like, it's all part of the same coaching tree. So, and they all have timing issues. They all have clean game clock management issues. It's not a surprise.
Last thing for me, there's a stat I thought was pretty interesting. Guy's name is, saw it on X, Anthony Dabundo. So basically, the 3 worst teams in terms of special teams EPA since 2020 are the San Francisco 49ers, the Green Bay Packers, and the LA Rams. And the Rams fired their special teams coach during the year.
Yeah,
that's
they did.
So telling.
They had special teams problems all season long.
Like, when you're a head coach, you just focus on play calling mostly. Like, you got to focus on the other parts of the business, the other parts
100%.
of the team. So
see, that's why it's important to have a coach like John Harbaugh, who used to be a special teams coach, and now look what he's doing. He's just bringing. I'm just, Anyways, speaking of great turnarounds, we have Sam Darnold. No, Sam Darnold ain't seeing ghosts anymore, guys. 346 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. I don't like. Is this the real Sam Darnold? Did he just stand up right now? Because it's not as if the LA Rams have a bad defense. They have a pretty good defense, and he put them to the woodshed. So you got to give this guy props over here. Only QB, along with Brady, with back-to-back 14-win seasons with 2 different teams. Sam Darnold and Tom Brady in rarefied air.
Wow.
How's that for a fun fact? And then you got JSN, who put up 10 for 153 yards and a touchdown, versus Puka Nacua, who put up 9 for 165 and a touchdown. Running backs are more or less the same. So this was very much an aerial assault on both sides of the ball over here. And I wonder, what? Sam Darnold, not Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford, after the Hall of Fame, after this loss, is he still Hall of Fame discussion? Let's say his career ends tomorrow. They didn't ride off in the sunset with a championship. Is he Hall of very good, or is he Hall of he's not first ballot, but he should be getting in? I think it's the latter. I don't see how you can. I don't see how you can leave him out.
I agree.
I think he deserves to be in more than not. I think it's close, especially after what happened with Bill Belichick. Nobody has secured a spot apparently, but I think it's a little bit more.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we talked about, I was curious about it because we talked about it last week, and man, like the way he played really well. And again, the MVP season, he already has a title in his name, and I would assume he's going to come back. And I think the Rams are going to be contenders as long as he and McVay are there. So I think they're going to try to run it back for sure.
His stats in the playoffs, he averages 328 yards when in losses, 328 yards per game. Averages about 2 touchdowns a game with like 0 INTs. This is in losses in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he's good.
Crazy. And I think it's 6 losses. So it's still that's 6 still losses. Big counting chunk of games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super impressive. That's Matthew Stafford. So Seahawks advance. They deserve it, in my opinion. They played well. They played very well. Their defense has been very well. They have great coaching. My God, they have fantastic coaching. Again, part of the Harbaugh tree, kind of not surprised. But it's great coaching. And you figure that this is going to continue up until in 2 weeks from now when they're at the big dance versus everyone's favorite team, the New England Patriots, who beat the Denver Broncos this past weekend. Fun fact, actually, that Drake May did something that Tom Brady could never do. He beat the Broncos in Denver in the playoffs. Fun fact. So, Drake May.
John Harbaugh never did that either, right?
No, well, he didn't play quarterback for the Patriots.
Not coach of the
Raiders. I don't understand. Next, stay on point over here. Talking about quarterbacks. Talking about head coach.
I was trying to plug it for you here.
The New York Football Giants.
We were going to get there somehow.
Appreciate that. Hey, wasn't Mike McCarthy part of the John Harbaugh coaching tree? No, he wasn't. I'm kidding. Imagine how funny would that be?
My God. We've gone off the rails.
Of course we have. It's about time. We're an hour in. Might as well get off the rails at some point. But for real, we went from literally one barn burner to another. This game finished 10-7 in favor of the aforementioned New England Patriots, which was a defensive onslaught. And definitely not the most exciting of games. The fact that Jarrett there's not much to say here. Jarrett Stidham actually had more passing yards than Drake May. However, at the end of the day, I think the better team won. Even though the score might not necessarily reflect that, Patriots willed themselves to win this game. And ultimately, as good as the Denver Broncos defense was, and it's fantastic, the New England Patriots offense was just that much better. And Jarrett Stidham couldn't get it done. And whether that's Sean Payton's fault,
I mean, technically, it wasn't better.
Yeah,
that much better.
Yeah, it was just Jarrett Stidham being bad.
You wonder how
Their
different this
touchdown
game
drive
would
was
have been.
12 yards. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. That's
12
right.
yards.
Yeah. And you
Broncos
wonder how.
offense technically was better.
And yes, and they're running the ball a lot better. Drake May ran the ball. Drake May rushed the ball very good. A lot better than he was throwing it. I think that's the dangerous part with Drake May in these types of games right now. That he can't just break the pocket and make those runs. You have to wonder how much of a difference would Bo Nix have made. And I think
A lot.
Yeah. No, I know. No. I'm not saying
amount.
he wouldn't have. I'm not saying he wouldn't have. But like, would you have given the edge to the Denver Broncos being the Patriots if Bo Nix was there? I think so.
Even Russell Wilson.
I think so. It's really unfortunate.
Wow, Russell Wilson plug.
It's funny because but it's funny because Russell Wilson was benched for Stidham that year that Sean Payton was just like couldn't even look at Russell Wilson.
Was benched.
Yeah. Payton, I have to say something. Are we sure Sean Payton is as good as we say he is?
Look, I mean, another smart coach that usually doesn't make mistakes in those situations. When he didn't kick that field goal to go up 10-0 with a rookie QB, and you were stifling them. The Patriots could not move the ball. They had all the momentum, and you went for it with a backup QB with an easy chip shot field goal.
And it's his job to know that the weather was going to be bad.
Of course.
It's his job. He is the head coach. It is
Sean
his job.
Payton lost
there's
that
more
game.
blame.
He lost
there's a lot more. Yeah, there's a lot more blame on the head coach than anyone else, in my opinion. Because even from a backup quarterback standpoint, like, you have a fantastic defense, you have a great quarterback, great, and your backup is someone that you need to be able to trust in these situations. So I don't know.
I just think with Payton, like, it's a lot of like, there's one title. He had Drew Brees this entire time. It's, a lot of, and to your point, Nak, a lot of the same stuff that Mike McCarthy gets crap about, Sean Payton doesn't get crap about. And the reason why is that Payton is brash. He has bravado. The media loves him. Peter Schrager name drops him all the time. And it's like, I don't know. Like, Payton hasn't been that great over the past few years. I don't know.
I think he's been pretty good.
Yeah, he's been carried by a really good defense.
Yeah, well, it's
the offense is
coach. If you're gonna call balls, call strikes too, right? I mean, if you're gonna give him crap for losing the game, you got to give him props for making it this far, even with the defense that obviously he helped assemble because he is the head coach.
For sure.
But speaking of defenses, can we put a little bit of respect on Drake May's name? Like, as much as he didn't exactly blow the roof off the doors over here with his performance versus Denver, but the guy has faced 3 top 5 defenses in this playoffs, and versus the Seahawks now, it's going to be 4 in the top 10, and he's getting it done. They're winning. Even again, like, at the end of the day, you got to say, yeah, is Jarrett Stidham the problem, or like in this game, right? Drake May didn't play Jarrett Stidham. Drake May played the Denver Broncos defense, and ultimately they scored more points. And he played against the same thing against the LA Chargers. The defense is very good. He didn't play against Justin Herbert. He played against the LA Chargers defense.
There's context.
He played against the Houston Texans defense, not against CJ Stroud. He did enough.
For sure.
He did enough. I'm just saying.
And you're right, but there's
it's
context.
not as if the Pats defense. Sorry to interrupt you. It's not as if the Pats defense is like a top 10.
But there's context behind this, right? Like, there's CJ Stroud had 5 turnovers, right? They had short fields to work with. Again, against the Broncos, he threw for 80 yards, and the touchdown drive was 12 yards, right? Like, yes, 100%.
He rushed for 65. He rushed for 65 and a touchdown.
I get it. I understand. He threw for 80 though. For 3 full quarters, that field was green, right? He threw for 51 in the first half.
First half wasn't great.
Like, there's context to this, right? Like,
I agree.
He got it done,
100%.
and they deserve their flowers. They deserve to be there. But I'm just saying, like, the other side of the ball had to play incredibly bad for him to get those opportunities to do so. Again,
100%.
I'm not taking anything away, but his playoff performance to this point is not wowing me at this point in time. Not to say that he wasn't bad, good throughout the year and good throughout everything, but it's just I feel like there's context, especially in the last 2 games.
For sure. But at the end of the day, he faced 3 defenses ranked in the top 5, and he's going to the Super Bowl. And I think that's the most important context that most people are going to be looking at. That's just I get your point, Ag. I don't disagree. I'm not saying he played fantastic. He didn't. But right now,
it's
which
very
quarterback would you
similar
rather
to
have? I mean,
it's very similar to Brady in terms of like the thing is
Yep.
May is a runner-up MVP this year compared to Tom Brady in 2021, who it was his first year. But the numbers are very similar, and you can quote unquote say that both players were carried by their defenses. And I don't mean that to kind of
It's usually the case.
I don't mean that to poo-poo
Yeah.
on May. I think that there was elements, maybe not the Charger game, but there was definitely elements in the game against the Texans, even though May had 4 fumbles. There was definitely elements in the game against Denver, but to your point, Knack, very fair. Like the field was green in the at the beginning. But I think the narrative of like, hey, like let's denounce this, let's put an asterisk on this
No,
Super Bowl
absolutely
appearance.
not.
Like
No.
you don't put
No, no, no,
asterisks
no,
in
no,
the
no.
NFL.
There's
you know?
there's no asterisk behind it. I'm just saying you're going against a team now in a Seattle Seahawks where they tend to not turn over the ball as much. They tend to play, complementary football. So I feel like this is going to be the toughest task. Like
Yes.
the Chargers,
Of course.
they had
Mount
there's
Everest.
no offensive line. Herbert got destroyed.
Yeah.
Like there was in Houston, Stroud just really completed 4 interceptions in the first half. Like what were you going to do there? And then against the Broncos, well, again, if he did play, we just mentioned it. If Bo Nix was in that game, the Broncos win that game.
We don't know
The way
that.
Drake May played.
Yeah.
We
There's
don't know that. We
there's
don't
no
know that. We don't know
fumbling, Stidham, no fumbling, and that like
No backpedaling into like a
exactly. Bo
sack.
Nix plays that game, and Drake May plays exactly the way he played. The Broncos come out victorious, no doubt in my mind.
Well, to quote the great Mike Tomlin, if my aunt had, you know what, she'd be my uncle. So gotta give him a plug, man. The guy's like writing off in this touch, so give us some props. But we're gonna preview the Super Bowl next week, ladies and gentlemen. So don't get too excited right now, because you know what, that deserves an episode in itself. And plus, there's gonna be other stuff going on too. But that was like like the amuse-bouche really was the Patriots versus the Broncos. Unfortunately, happy that we got the Super Bowl to happen a week early. But let's just hope that next week is going to be not next week. But next week is going to be the Pro Bowl, where we're going to see one Shooter Sanders light up the skills competition and throw balls into
that
a
guy's
hoop.
name was mentioned like 6 times.
Guys, it's
Please stop. Please stop.
Sorry, my watch is here.
it's legendary. Mac, you want to end the show?
I think that's enough for today. Thanks, guys, once again for listening. Please remember to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever we get our stuff. Instagram. We're all tired here. This has gone off the rails like crazy. But stay tuned for next week, Super Bowl preview. Big things happening. So tune in. Raj, music.
Play us out. What do you mean to play us out? To end the show?
Playoffs.
That's what John Harbaugh wants next year. That's what John Harbaugh wants. He knows it's happening. It's happening. We have the roster for it.
Okay. Guess when you push the button.
Hey guys, Mike McCarthy is the new coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Goodbye.
The Yinzers. Bye guys.